California Governor Gavin Newsom is working on a plan to add Democratic House seats in California. Politico reports California's Texas thwarting gerrymander has swiftly transformed from fantasy to reality. Democrats in the House and the state legislature are coalescing around a plan to draw a half dozen Republican incumbents into oblivion and persuade California voters to approve the new congressional maps before next year's midterms. It could result in as many as 5 new blue seats, and Democrats holding all but 4 of California's 52 congressional districts, according to a slide presented to members of Congress and viewed by Politico. And joining us now, 2 of the Democratic state representatives that have left the state, Mihaela Pleșa and Erin Zwiener. Mihaela, I just saw you sitting right there beside the governor. That's the biggest welcome you could possibly get to New York. We are welcoming you here in New York tonight. What made you do this? How did it come to this?
Well, this is really about the people and their access to the ballot box and their access to their vote. We're talking about changing congressional lines in the middle of a decade without census data, without anything to really provoke this. The only thing that provoked this was a phone call to Governor Abbott from Donald Trump. So this is about democracy. This is about fighting for that democracy. And this is about doing the right thing for voters, not just Texas voters, but all throughout the nation.
And Erin, you've done it before. You were in that last time when the Texas Democrats in the legislature left town to try to block things. What's different this time?
Yeah, I think what unites both these quorum breaks is that they're about democracy and saving democracy. We thought the threat was big in 2021 with the restrictions on the access to the ballot box. And it was, but this is even bigger. This gets at the fundamental of Texans being able to choose who represents them. I have a Hispanic community in my district that has been part of a Hispanic opportunity district, where those voters get to choose who represents them. They're about to be buried in a district that is over 60% white and having their voice stolen. That's wrong, and we have to fight back.
So how does it work? When did you decide you were going to do this, and how much time did you have to grab a toothbrush?
Well, the legislative special sessions are 30 days. And when we originally got the call from the governor that we were going to have this special session, it was supposed to be about flood mitigation and recovery for the catastrophic floods that just happened in Texas. It's 1 month since over 130 people lost their lives. We were told that we were going to talk about property taxes and the STAR test. And then the phone call came from Donald Trump, and that completely changed. And instead of having hearings on flooding and recovery, we were having hearings on redistricting. We had 8 hearings on redistricting and only 2 hearings on flood recovery. And the thing is that what was disrespectful about all of this is that the Republican caucus of Texas decided to, on the first day of debate, on the anniversary of the flooding, put redistricting on the call, not recovery, not rebuilding, redistricting. And that's just disrespectful, not just to Texans, but to the victims.
And so was redistricting just added to the agenda, or did it displace other things that were on the legislative agenda?
I think the governor is trying to use these other issues as a smoke shield for this nakedly partisan power grab. But we do need to get resources to the communities impacted by flooding. But we can do that without being in a special session. The governor has that authority right now. And on top of that, the legislation we really need to reform land use to make sure we don't have building in floodplains and aren't building in ways that exacerbates flood, those bills aren't even being referred to committee. The flood work is smokescreens. This is a session about their political power.
And so how long do you have to stay out for this to work?
Well, the special session was called for 30 days and it ends on August 19th. So that's the intent, to stay out until August 19th.
So if you stay out until August 19th, then that's the end of this legislative session. And then does the governor just have to call another one to try to do this again?
Now, we'll see if the governor tries again. I think we're already seeing our plan work. Representative Kevin Kiley from California, Republican, just announced his intent to introduce legislation in Congress to ban mid-cycle redistricting. Well, I think we can say we heartily agree. We should not do this mid-cycle. And if we can move people in other states, maybe we can all agree to unilaterally disarm and move forward with the maps we have.
So that sounds like the Gavin Newsom threatened plan in California has California Republicans afraid of that. So a California Republican in Congress now introducing a bill to just ban it all national.
Exactly. And they should be afraid, because if they pull this type of extraordinary and extreme tactic, we don't have any choice but to respond in kind. We don't want to, but we have to defend our constituents.